Hello and welcome to Affinity. This is a very simple way of creating a hard, impactful monochrome image. And we've got a couple of pictures in of street photography and a couple of pictures of landscape. So, and all it's about is simply going to the black and white filter here and then adjusting these, but give them the push. Push them up so things go up. Notice if I go up here, that becomes solid white, it's lost detail, so you don't going to go too far with it. You can go the other way, again that's going to lose detail. Often pushing up helps with some contrast going down. So there, that's around about the 150 mark. That makes this a lot whiter, but you can see the detail of it. Then look at the others here with these until you go up here, see that he's not going to bloom a bit there if you go too far. Maybe take it. Is that going to go down? How's that going to work? You could make that fairly dark because that's just in the background there. Green's not going to do a great deal here. And cyan, again pushing things up a bit to get that contrast. Blue, again up some more. And magenta, just a bit on that red there. Maybe if I take that down a bit and I can push the red up a bit, but need to keep the detail in it. So that gives you a kind of hard picture there that's gonna work. But we do the same thing over here. Let's try one of these. Okay, here's another street photography. Here you've got a lot of colour, which is quite an interesting thing you can do with this. And that is you can push up things. When you push yellow up, you've got leaves up here. Yellow will push leaves into a lighter zone. So push it up to a point where you're not blurring off the edges of it. Green will add a little bit into that, but surprisingly not necessarily as much as cyan. So cyan here, let's bring that down. Blue, that's getting some good contrast. Blue down more about there. Magenta often doesn't give much, but here it'll push us up or pull us down, maybe just up a bit. But again, look at this, before and after, getting more contrast within the picture. Let's do a landscape, black and white. And what happens with red when we push it up and down? You just push them all the way up and all the way down, and this is going to increase, interestingly, the grass here, making that a bit more white. Yellow will also affect landscape, but maybe in this case just a little bit to get back a little bit of the detail of the grass there. Green, that's just getting some of the lichen in here. We can push that all the way up. Cyan, that's going to affect the sky. It's going to go from a, notice if you pull it down here, you can get banding in here, you can get dark corners, so you don't want to push this too far. Unless you want to push the other way and get a completely white sky, and that in itself can be just okay. Blue then, you can pull this here, let's put it just back a little bit and look at the way it affects shadows. You get a bit more detail in this. And magenta, how's that going to work? Often magenta will not give you very much. Then you can go back and play a bit more with these. You need to put a bit more light into there. Yellow, don't want to burn it out. Green, yeah, leave that up. Cyan, leave that up. And blue, that can actually go up. Get the detail in here, the contrast in the stone here. And we'll just pull cyan back a bit to get a little bit more detail in that distant hill. So cyan and blue often work together, yellow and green work together, and red and sometimes magenta if there's any detail to be had from that. So that's another one which we can do before and after. One more. And the black and white. Now look what happens with red here. Look, if you push it one way, you get a lot of detail up front. Push it the other way, and the water. Sometimes you don't necessarily expect that, but the water darkens. But that, if you're darkening water, the rocks now stand out more. So that's quite good like that. Yellow, again, often pairs with red. And we're going to do any more with this. In fact, you might try pulling back the red and pushing up the yellow and finding a balance between those two. Green, we're going to get a bit of detail on here. Again, we can push green all the way up to pull out detail. Cyan, just a little bit at the edges there, so again looking not to burn it out. Blue, that's going to be the similar sort of area cyan. Look at the way that, if you turn that up, it just looks terrible. So maybe actually take this down a bit. Magenta, again not a lot there. So you can see we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4. There we go, 4 different images with a black and white filter pushed to make the contrast stronger. That's it, and thank you very much for watching.